Okay, this is for you, Pete. We're going to start by pushing away heaven and earth. What this one's called. It's going to stretch, open up your armpit, and your shoulder, and your sides. And we usually do 8 of these, 8 to 10. And then we're going to look down and follow that hand up. And as if we're guiding the chi up, and we look up to the sky, wrists completely bent, and then hold and look down to that hand, and we'll follow that one up. Hold, look down, so we're starting to get our neck involved. And we'll do 8 or 10 of these. Of course, when I'm talking, I lose count, so we'll be just kind of improvising. So the last one, we're going to just follow that hand down to our lower dantian. Step out a little bit, and we're going to circle the pelvis, mind and breath focused, and our belly, our lower dantian. So here, one hand is on top of the other, and now we're going to change directions and change which hand's on top. Go the other way. So it's kind of like a slow hula hoop sort of motion. So the whole lower belly of it is kind of called the lower dantian. I'll get a little more specific about it later. Okay, so then we'll bring that to a halt, and I'll turn sideways now. We're going to arch and flatten our low back and press points alongside our spine with our thumbs. And just start up as high as I can get, and we'll work down till we hit bone. That's your sacrum. Then we're going to come up and out a little bit. So now we're on the crest of the band of muscles there called the erectors. And again, we'll just go down until we hit bone. It's crest of your ilium. Up and out a little bit. We'll come along the lateral edge of the erectors. All the while, we're just arching and flattening our low back, getting as much movement there as we can. We hit the top of the iliums. I'm going to come back to the first line, and which is usually the longest one, and repeat that. And then we'll finish off with a little tapping of the low back and just making some silly noises. Let the breath go. Okay, then we're going to go into shoulder rolls. Big strokes back. Slow up, back, down, push down, forward, up, back, down, around. And so I'll usually do a half a dozen of these, and I'm more or less just looking straight ahead. But now we're going to change directions, and so that first part, I'm really breathing into my chest and expanding there. Now we're going to breathe into our backs, across our backs, widen our scapulas, really rounding. So we're going forward. Half a dozen of those. And so the thing to remember there is to remember to push down towards the earth. Now we're going to go back again, but this time we're going to rotate the thumbs out. And I'll look up, open my throat while I'm doing this. That's an option. You don't have to do that part. You can look straight ahead there too. And then we're going to reverse it. So now we rotate the thumbs in. So it just gets a little more stretch in front, and now back. We're widening our shoulder blades, our scapulas a little bit more. And here I let my head hang. So the back of my neck is getting stretched out a little bit. because that's where we're going next. We're going to go into arcing left and right. And just letting that arc grow. I want to get the ear up over the shoulder. So it's a good 180-degree swing. Just breathing into my neck. We're always just breathing into the body part that we're working, that we're stretching. It's all easy and slow and deliberate, mindful, conscious movements. So after 10 or 12 of those, we're going to pick a side and we're going to go into what I call lateral arcing. So with the ear to the shoulder, I'm just going to rock forward and back of that side line. And we can let that grow too and get bigger and bigger, getting closer and closer to 180 degrees there. And we're just looking for the kinks and where it's sore, stiff, tight, and trying to smooth it out. We're just letting the weight of our head stretch out our neck, letting gravity do the work. And at a certain point after it doesn't, so we're going to arc over to the other side, do the same thing there. Just back and forth, and the two sides might be quite different. You just kind of feel your way through, explore, and trying to get as much range of motion as you can, and as easy as you can. So this is something that could easily be done every day. Tend to tighten up. Okay, and after 10 or 12 of those, now we're going to go all the way around. And here we're just going to alternate directions. So when your chin gets back to your sternum, your chest, just go the other way. And the number you do is strictly kind of up to you. We want it to be sufficient, so kind of maybe 3 is minimum. And I often use a dozen to be a good maximum. So somewhere in that range, you can just play around with it depending on how much time you have. Primarily. Okay, so I'll make this last one of those. I'm going to stop with the chin to the chest and head hanging, and I'm going to now squeeze the top of my head. So I'm using my finger pads to massage my scalp. I'm going to kind of work from the hairline, the top, and down the back, and just kind of scritch till I get to the occiput, and then I'm going to pull my finger pads back and forth across the base of the skull and underneath, down the back of the neck. And there, do the back of the neck 2 or 3 times at least. And then into a back to front shoulder pull. So just reach back between your shoulder blades as far as you can. I get underneath the shirt and pull across and at least get to the top of the shoulder. Feel that crest there, and maybe come all the way to that front edge. And then the last one, we're going to come all the way to the collarbone, the clavicle. And then we're going to turn our head slightly and we're going to squeeze, pinch. This muscle is called the SCM, right? And it starts up here right behind the ear, the base of the skull, and we're just going to pinch down. So use the hand on the same side and just kind of hook like that, and you turn a little bit, makes the muscle stand out. If you turn too far, it makes it too tight. If you don't turn enough, it's hard to get a hold of, or it feels a little choky. So do maybe 3 of those on one side, and then maybe 3 on the other side. Good mess, because we're going to repeat this later on. Okay, so I think we'll go to this one next. We're going to just take a comfortable stance. We're going to massage a couple points here on the upper lateral chest, just in front of the shoulder. So we're right below the collarbone, and just inside the shoulder, there's a little depression there called the deltopectoral triangle. So our points are in there, we're going to massage that. And then I'm going to start with a forward circling, kind of like I'm swimming, and breathing into the shoulder joint. We're trying to loosen up the whole shoulder joint. So palm down, like I'm swimming. Let's just do a half a dozen of these. And all the while, I kind of keep this hand here, and I'm kind of pressing those points, or pressing that area while I do it. This opens up the lungs and the breathing. Now we're going to continue, but I'm going to turn the hand so it's more of a chopping motion. And this is just kind of going for a nice smooth circle. Circling and breathing into the whole shoulder. And now we're going to turn the hand again. This time it's palm up. And half a dozen of each of those. And then we're going to change directions and go back. And here we're going to add, as if we're reaching for something just beyond our grasp, all the way around the circle. And I rotate my hand a little bit. It's different muscles engaged. And here I'm still just keeping that hand there. I mean, I could put it anywhere, it doesn't really matter. But I usually just leave it there. So we'll do about a dozen of these, going backwards. Should be enough. And then we're gonna change feet. So just starting over, get your stance, go back nice and flat. Lie right down in your legs, massage the points, then forward circling, palm down. Then chopping. Then palm up. Just nice and easy, smooth. And then we're going to reverse it. And going backwards and twisting the arm around and adding the reach. So we're really pulling the chi out the arm and opening up all those arm channels. Getting that whole shoulder girdle open. And do about a dozen like this. And again, you kind of just count for yourself and kind of make sure you do approximately the same number on each side, so we're balanced that way. And also you can then track your progress. Maybe some days you don't have much time. Maybe just do sets of 3 or 6, and other times you do more. Okay, then we're going to step back and we're going to integrate the two sides. Swinging the arms inward, and I'm just alternating the crossing, so palms out. Palms in, palms out, palms in, and these are a little faster. I just slowed down so you could see it, and then we're going to reverse directions, going out or circling outward. Same, alternating the crossing, and working with your breathing, and just nice, smooth, big, full, really opens everything up. And then we'll conclude, and we're going to come up on our toes, and then drop our weight into our heels to do what I call shoulder drops. And then you can see my shoulders just flopping up and down, kind of like they're football shoulder pads. And you let your breath and voice go. Make some sound. And shake it on off down the arms, and then we're gonna stretch the forearms with this weird kind of backward stretch. So I use the thumb on the back of the hand, So we're stretching our forearm between the elbow and the wrist. Just doing a backward arc like that, and then we'll do 3, and then we'll do switch sides. Do 3 over here. And then go back to the first side, 3 more. Back to this side, 3 more. And then back to the first side for the last round. This time I'm gonna hold it. I'm just gonna put it against my thigh, make a little platform, a little shelf there, and push the heel of my palm toward the floor. Really get a good stretch, then release it, and do the other side. So we're gonna arc and then hold, push down, and release. And now we're gonna bend the wrists this way so the palms face up, and as if you're holding something in your hand that you don't want to spill or fall out, I'm going to just twist as far as I can in each direction. So this one gets the yin channels of the arm, and this one gets the yang channels of the arm. So all this is yang channel twisting. And then we're going to stretch our fingers, tighten up, make a fist, stretch, clamp, stretch. So we're just alternating. So it's kind of 2 stretches in one. One's really opening, and one closing and tight. So I'm squeezing with my whole arm. Then I'm going to change direction, so now the thumbs are forward. Good firm grip, and half a dozen of 5 or 6 of these is probably good. Now we're going to go palms front, and now palms out. And then we're going to finish with just a wiggling, kind of loose, easy wiggling knock at all the fingers. Make sure you include your thumbs. And we'll end with kind of shaking it off. Okay, now we're going to work on our wrists a little bit, and we need to get a little closer. So I'm going to clamp the wrist right at the wrist joint. I'm going to circle my wrist. I can use my index and thumb, or I can use my middle finger, either one. And I'm just going to clamp, kind of like you're squeezing toothpaste out. So you feel your hand separate from your forearm, and then we'll do the other side. I'm just going to squeeze and release, but get all those points around the wrist and really open up the wrist joint. We're going to go back to this side. This time we're going to do circles one way, then the other, 5 or 6 each way. Nice there. Then back to this side, circles. So I'm squeezing and rotating. You just find a nice balance between the two. Reverse. Just nice and slow, and getting a nice complete range of motion there. We're going to go back to the first side. This time, actually, we're going to put our thumb right in this little hollow here called the anatomical snuff box, and there's a key point in there, and now I'm just going to go back and forth that way, and then we'll do the same thing on this side. And then I'm going to pinch the skin up, and there's a point right in there that I'm trying to activate. It's a lung point, a key lung point. We'll do that on both sides. And then I'm going to turn over, and there's a key point here on the side of the hand. It really is good for the spine and the back. And we'll do that on this side too. It just gently, not make a tight fist, but gently kind of opens up that little hollow, and your thumb can just fit right into it. And we'll shake it on off again. Then we're going to do a clamp. So I'm going to get close again. So I'm clamping between these two knuckles, and we're going to get these points on either side of the base of the nail, and I'm just going to squeeze them and get a good clamp on each finger. There's different channels go to each finger, and do the other side. And I'm just really giving them a good squeeze. You can really feel them. And then, same kind of idea, except this time we're going to start all the way up by this knuckle, and we're going to squeeze, and then slide off, and it'll snap. Now that's these fingers coming together is what's making the snap. But it really stimulates the channel and activates those points at the base of the nails, which we just call nail points. So now, so that got all our arm channels all activated quickly, and we're ready to move on to the hips. But I think we're going to pause here for a second and see how we're doing.